As we continue with conversations with Glen Taylor, we look at the acquisition of Amsterdam Printing. This multi-generation family business started in the late 1800s. I interviewed Steve Singer, the great-grandson of the founder, to learn about the company and why it was such a good acquisition for Taylor.
Another company we purchased from a family that was a little different than ours, but we wanted to expand in, was Amsterdam. The father had run this company for many years and had brought his children, but they were adults, in to help him run the company.
It was started by my great-grandfather in 1898, so a long time ago. My great-grandfather worked on as a postal sorter on trains, and he lived in New York City and went from New York City to Buffalo. And while he was on those trains, he would be on for a week sorting. There weren't zip codes on, so he had to memorize all the cities and all that. He would be on for a week and off for a week. He started a little print shop in his garage in New York City, which was the start of Amsterdam Printing in 1898. And then what was unusual about him was he actually created a printed product, which was really unique at the time, and what Taylor Corp is really founded on. But he made postal flashcards for all the postal workers so that they could pass their tests and earn more money while they were doing sorters. And he sold them and really was one of the pioneers in the mail order business. He sold them via the mail to the mail workers, and that's how Amsterdam Printing was started. About 10 years in, it was doing so well, he left the postal work, moved up north to Amsterdam, New York, made the business name Amsterdam Printing, and that became the beginning of what the business is right now. Their next big product were bridge scorecards which were advertising specialties. So companies would buy them to give them out, and then they did things like memo pads for people's work desks. And it just formed into a direct marketer of products, business to business, and selling things that businesses need for use, which could be labels, envelopes, memo pads, or for promotional items, which became the bigger part of the business as time went on.
This was something that fit with what we did. We knew how to do imprinting. We knew how to do short-run imprinting. They were going to similar customers that we were going to. They were selling some of the same products we were.
So because we were a direct marketer, because we were product, and because we were print manufacturing, we were sort of a natural to fit with, and the right size to fit with Taylor Corporation.
We were able to get a deal quite easy with the father. He was very reasonable, fair, and get it done. But when we were completing the deal, he said to us that I wouldn't keep any of my children. And it was an unusual thing for a father to say. You expected to say, well, the condition is that you have to keep my children. But he said, I wouldn't keep any of the children. And I think he just had his relationship with him was a father-like. And of course, our decision would be that they would be a manager.
I would say that my father thought I was quite capable, but he also knew going through the sale that a lot of buyers wouldn't necessarily expect a son of an owner to be successful, so he didn't want to not do the sale because of that.
So as it ended up, Steve was the youngest, and we asked Steve to stay on and to manage the company. And his father said we were making a mistake. But I would tell you, that's for sure, that wasn't a mistake. He was ready to learn and to change things and to do things.
The amazing thing about the transition for me is I often say that I feel like I own the business more after we sold it than before. And the reason I say that is because every decision that was made beforehand was a compromise and a discussion between multiple family members and multiple generations of the family members, including other sisters and my mother who sat on the board but weren't in day to day. So there was always a lot of dynamics around that.
The father and his grandfather started the business. So it was important, that it keep its name and that it stay there. And I would think the father, as 5 years later, 7 years later, seeing the company grow, had to be pretty proud of the decision that he had made. And I think it was good for Stephen for a long time. I know he's not with the company anymore, but I've talked to him a couple times. He's doing well. So, all's well that ends well. A good acquisition.
Glen is, a great leader in many ways. He's very good at delegating. I mean, he allows people to do the things that they feel they need to do. And for somebody like myself, who grew up as an owner, from a crib really, to me, I didn't need to be told to be accountable. I only knew how to be accountable. And so for me, if I was going to make a decision, I made sure I did the homework and did the best chance. You never know for sure when you make a decision. You could go right, could go wrong, but you make the best decision you can, and then you execute as best as you can once the decision is made. Taylor was unique with acquisitions because they would let the business run as it was, but they would add some things, but they would also take some things. So there were things that we did at Amsterdam that were maybe a little better than what was already happening, even though we were a small part, and they took some of those things. I, in turn, made sure we took advantage of some of the good things that Taylor brought to us. And, we had everything was there except for 1 or 2 pieces. And Taylor added that 1 or 2 pieces, and we added the other, 10 or 15 pieces, and boom, we hit it together. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity that we had to do it, and I'm grateful that the partner was Taylor, because another partner, it might not have worked out that way.